Do. For anyone wondering why I'm wearing a jacket, it's because it's bloody cold. It's like 1 degrees, 0 degrees outside. It is stupidly cold. Oh, and for those wondering where the jacket is from, it's from Zara. I had so many questions last time when I wore it. People were asking where the jacket was from. It's from Zara. I don't exactly know the name of it, but yeah. Right, so it's that time of the year again. My top tech and gear of 2020. I was about to say 2022 then, but yeah, 2021. Top tech and gear that I've been using past year. Not stuff that has necessarily come out this year, but stuff that I've been using this year and stuff that I think is worth sharing. So the first product is the Eurolux small crossbody pack. Now, obviously, full disclaimer, this is a product from my own store. But yeah, I mentioned it, I think, in my everyday carry, and we've already sold out. So it's currently not in stock on the website, but we do have stock coming soon. But yeah, I absolutely love this thing. We brought it out a few months ago. It's one of my favorite products, and it's pretty big as well. I mean, it doesn't look that big, but you can fit quite a bit of stuff in here. So I have an A7C, and I also have another lens. I do usually have my iPad in here as well, my iPad mini, but I just don't have that with me today. But yeah, you can fit quite a bit of stuff in here. There's also tons of other pockets and stuff to fit things. Really happy with this bag. And yeah, for anyone interested, leave a link to it. You can order it right now, even though it's out of stock, and then we'll send it out whenever we get it in stock. So make sure to check it out. So next up, we have the iPhone 13 Pro. So yeah, I've upgraded from the 12 Pro to the 13 Pro. A lot of people do ask, why do I go for the standard Pro model and not the Pro Max, is it? Yeah, Pro Max. And it's mainly because I just like the size. I like the smaller size of the 13 Pro. It sort of fits more my style, you could say. The battery life is pretty good, but what I love about this is the cameras. The cameras are just incredible. Some of the pictures that I get out of this thing really amaze me. I'm just shocked at how good it is. I'm actually picking up my A7C less often because the camera in this is that good. I shoot in RAW mostly, and then I edit in Lightroom using my Lightroom presets. I try to go for quite clean, sort of understated, well, I say understated, sort of just a clean look with my pictures, where I don't want any sort of aggressive color grading or anything like that. So yeah, I just have some of my own presets that I use to basically add very light sort of color grading to my pictures. I'll leave a link to them if you guys are interested. I have found though that when I'm shooting in RAW that the highlights are a bit too bright. So in Lightroom, I like to bring down the highlights quite a bit just to level out the picture itself, make it a bit more flatter. But yeah, I absolutely love this thing. The photos that it takes are just so good. What I find most impressive though is when taking pictures of things quite close up. So if I'm taking product shots or whatever else, the background blur, the natural background blur from the lens is just crazy. It's so impressive that it's coming out from a phone. So yeah, this is my current daily driver, iPhone 13 Pro. But when I do want to take some professional pictures, maybe for my Instagram or for client work, something like that, I have this, the A7C. So I picked this up earlier this year. And the main reasons for picking this up was because of how small and compact it is. It is a really small camera. It's a really small full frame camera. It's probably one of the, it's not the smallest, but it's definitely one of the smallest. And the other reason I picked it up was because it fits all of my Sony lenses. So I use Sony lenses for all of my video work, and being able to just use the same lenses across all of them works fantastically well. I have the 35 1.8 on here. This is one of my favorite lenses, mainly because of how small it is, how compact it is. At the same time, 35mm is one of my favorite focal lengths. I think it's a good sort of in between a long focal length and a wide one. It doesn't look too unnatural. And the f1.8 aperture gives me those super nice blurry backgrounds. I leave some pictures up so you can see them. But yeah, super nice blurry backgrounds, and also keeping the product pretty sharp, or whatever the subject, I guess, whatever it is, very sharp. Yeah, pretty small compact camera setup. I'm really happy with it. I don't use it as much as I'd like to, like I said, mainly because I'm using my iPhone a lot for pictures nowadays. But when I'm sort of traveling, or I know I'm going to a shoot, or I'm going to take pictures today or whatever, or I need to take pictures for my Instagram or for client work, I will use this thing. It's an absolute beast. Next up is my Apple Watch Series 7. So I've actually gone straight from the Series 4 to the Series 7. So a big jump for me, because it means I didn't really get the always on display or anything like that. So this is my first Apple Watch with the always on display and the bigger screen as well. The bigger screen is really nice on this. I have the stainless steel black one. I can't remember exactly the color. I think it's just black stainless steel, or space black stainless steel, something like that. And then I have the space black link bracelet. I think it's space black. I might be getting all the colors wrong. But yeah, this is the official link bracelet from Apple. It's not cheap. I feel like this whole setup actually isn't that cheap. But the stainless steel just feels super high quality, super expensive. I'm really happy with this. I use it at the gym. I even wear the Link bracelet at the gym, and yeah, I've had no problems with it. I use it for all of my activity tracking, of course, telling the time, looking at the weather, and yeah, anything like that. Because I use the infograph watch face where it has all of the information on the watch face itself. So yeah, just a cool way for me to keep an eye on sort of information that I want to keep an eye on. And the battery life on it is pretty damn good. If I don't use any activity tracking, I can easily get 2 days out of this, no problem. So yeah, the battery life is so much better than my Series 4. I think my Series 4 was just degrading over time. But yeah, Apple Watch Series 7. Next up is the iPad mini, and I'm a big fan of the upgrade to the iPad mini. It's been needed. I love the new design. I love that it follows the larger sort of design of the iPad Pro, but just in a smaller form factor. It does have the 60Hz display, which to be honest, I'm not actually too bothered about. I'm happy just to have 60Hz on it. It's nice obviously to have 120Hz on the iPad Pro and the iPhone. It would have been nice to have on the iPad mini, but yeah, I'm not really too fussed about it, mainly because my iPad mini is mainly used just for web browsing, for watching content like videos, YouTube videos and movies and stuff, and also just reading. So yeah, having 120Hz would have been overkill, but yeah, it still would have been nice to have it. For me personally, the form factor is perfect. It's just a nice in between of my iPhone and my MacBook. Next up, we have the new MacBook Pro. So I picked up the 14-inch MacBook Pro. I have done a review on this. If you haven't seen it already, make sure to check it out. But this is the M1 Max 14-inch MacBook Pro. I've also upgraded the RAM to 32 gigabytes of RAM and the SSD to 2 terabytes. So this was an expensive machine, but it is just amazing for the type of work I do, which is mainly design work, coding and video work. Having that power for video work is where I see the most benefit, especially because I'm recording a lot of footage, which is 4K 120 FPS. And my previous M1 MacBook Pro, it did handle it, it did work. There would be times though where I'd lose a few frames here and there, or sometimes it would just be a small delay when I play back the footage. But with this, there is no delay at all. It just edits all my footage, no problem. I can skim through it, I can have it in high quality. I don't have to use proxies or anything like that. It just makes editing videos a much quicker and easier process for me. Is it as big of a jump as it was from my iMac to the M1 MacBook Pro? No. But I still think, you know, going from the M1 MacBook Pro to the M1 Max MacBook Pro, the jump is significant enough where it's been worth it for me, especially because obviously I use it for all of my work. I wasn't a fan of the design at first actually. I thought it looked quite bulky and ugly looking, but now that I have it and seeing it in person, it's so much nicer looking. I think it is pretty nice. I actually don't even use the 120Hz ProMotion display on the MacBook itself, mainly because I have it connected up to an external display most of the time. The 14-inch display, well, the 14-inch form factor, the reason I have it is because it's the smallest laptop that I could get, that I could use between here and, well, work and home. So that's why I've gone for the 14-inch. I think if I were to use it as a laptop more, then I probably would have gone for the 16-inch. But yeah, for me, it's fantastic. I absolutely love it, and it's been well worth the money. So that actually leads quite well into, I'll put this aside, my Pro Display XDR. So I have my Pro Display XDR over there, and yeah, I bought this in the summer. Very, very expensive monitor, but that 6K resolution is absolutely glorious. Just being able to have so much screen estate, being able to have so many windows and sort of do design work, photo editing, video editing, all on a massive display like that, it is absolutely glorious. I actually wouldn't recommend it for most people considering the price, but it just gives me so much room for activities, literally. It's a great monitor for working professionals like myself, people who are doing photo editing, video editing, coding, designing every day. It's definitely worth it, and I think if your job earns you enough money, I think it's worth spending the money on the Pro Display XDR. I have the Pro Display XDR mounted to what might be the best monitor arm you can get right now, and that's the Herman Miller All-In. It's not cheap, but it is holding up a very expensive and very heavy monitor, and it does it very well. There's so much maneuverability, letting you angle the monitor in pretty much any way you want. If you're looking for a high-end monitor arm, this is definitely one of the best you can get. And then next up, we have this headphone stand. So I got this headphone stand a few months ago, and yeah, it's just a simple headphone stand that's really minimalistic looking, and it's actually pretty solid as well. Feels quite expensive, feels really nice. I usually have my AirPods Max on them, but there's also a wireless charger built into the base. Obviously, there is a USB port where you plug it in to get the power. But yeah, super nice little headphone stand, and yeah, it's definitely become one of my favorites. The Herman Miller Cosm. So I always bang on about how important it is to have an ergonomic office chair, especially for someone who sits in an office chair in an office all day. It's definitely worth spending the money on a high-end office chair. your back will thank you later in life. Ever since the Cosm came out a couple of years ago, I've been obsessed with the design. It's super clean and minimal looking, but at the same time made from very high quality materials. It sits below the Aeron, which actually is the one I'd recommend for most people, mainly because the Aeron has a lot more sort of functionality, a lot more features, and you can get it tailored to basically exactly your body weight and your size. So yeah, that's one I would recommend to most, but if you're looking for the most stylish one, I'd say the Herman Miller Cosm. I think the Herman Miller Cosm just looks awesome. It's definitely one of the best looking office chairs you can get right now. Kanto U2 speakers. So I bought these to replace my Harman Kardon soundsticks, which were pretty much falling apart because I had them for 10 years and they'd been through all sorts of crap. So yeah, they were falling apart, and I was looking for a nice high quality set of desktop speakers, and yeah, the Kanto U2s are phenomenal. They're super compact but also awesome looking in the matte black color that I've got. They do come in some other colors as well. The sound quality from them is immense, but you do need the external sub to get more depth out of the low end, because I did find without the sub it's just lacking in the low end. So yeah, if you're considering these, maybe consider also spending a bit of money on an external sub to go with them. I've yet to actually find another set of desktop speakers that are this compact, this good looking, and provide such a clear sound for the price tag. My Icunix PC case. So I'm heavily into gaming, if you didn't know already. I'm a big Apex player, I'm just obsessed. But I used to play on console mainly. Now I've moved over to PC and I'm using the Icunix PC case. And yeah, this PC case is just crazy good. I've made a video already covering the case, but it's super compact and the build quality is insane. It's made from aluminium and feels super high end. It's sort of very similar feeling to an Apple product. That's how good the aluminium is on it. It's great for the setup I have now, which has the Ryzen 5600X and a 2080 Super. Though it can get toasty, it's fine for now. But when I get a 3080, I will most likely opt for a bigger case. I mostly play Apex right now, so yeah, it can easily handle 1440p 144Hz, no problem. The Eve Spectrum. So I've been looking for an all-in-one 4K monitor that can do 144Hz, that can handle my PC, handle my PS5, it has to have HDMI 2.1, but can also work with a MacBook if I need it to. And the Eve Spectrum is the best thing I've come across right now. The other great thing about the Eve Spectrum is that it looks really good as well. It has super thin bezels, a very clean and minimal design. It almost looks Apple-esque. If Apple were to design a lower end sort of Pro Display XDR or something like that, I wouldn't be surprised if it looks something like this. It has amazing color and contrast as well due to it being an IPS panel. My most recent video is actually a review of this monitor, so check it out if you guys are interested. Yeah, I love it. I'm going to be using it as my primary gaming monitor going forward. And then finally, we have the Shure MV7. So I usually use it at home. This is why you're seeing me in a different place, because this is my home office. But yeah, I usually use it at home. I usually use it for phone calls, when I'm on Zoom calls and things like that, talking to clients or talking to friends or whatever else. I use this microphone. But I also use it for my second channel. So if you don't know, I do have a second channel where I cover sort of business and finance related stuff, business related content. If you guys are interested, I'll leave a link to it. But yeah, the best thing about this mic is that it's just plug and play. It's simply USB. It plugs into my MacBook. Well, I have it plugged into a hub and then plugged into my MacBook. And the quality is immense. Really, really clean quality. But if I did want to take it up a notch, there is also an XLR cable slot, well, XLR slot in the bottom, so I can connect it up that way as well. But like I said, it's USB, so anyone can use it. Anyone can get one connected up to their computer and start using it straight away without having to mess around with any fancy software or mess around with any crazy settings. At the same time, I also think it looks pretty smart. It's pretty clean looking, doesn't look very edgy, no stupid designs, no stupid colors. I've got it in black, you can also get it in silver. So yeah, super smart looking. And if you need a good quality microphone for Zoom calls and stuff, highly recommend this one. So that's it for my favorite top tech and gear of 2021. If you guys have any suggestions or anything that you have liked over the last year, leave it in the comments below. I'm always on the lookout for new tech and stuff. You should also subscribe to my newsletter if you haven't already subscribed to my newsletter. I leave a link to that as well. Yeah, just going through sort of different content that you wouldn't find on YouTube or anywhere else. And yeah, you guys seem to like it because it has a very high open rate. So check it out. Make sure to check out also one of my other videos. This will probably be my last video before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to everyone who is watching, who celebrates Christmas. Hopefully you get some good presents. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.